Hey everybody, it's Justin here, aka Demonic Sweaters, and what you were just watching there is this insanely rad EMP16 pad controller from Lekato. This is essentially the same controller that Avatar makes, but both of them are incredible. So depending on whichever brand you want, the Lekato version is just as good as the Avatar one. And these things are very cool for a number of reasons. Number one, it's wireless. I was connected wirelessly to my iPad there using Koala Sampler, and you can map everything very easily. Koala Sampler makes it super easy to do that, and it works really well with Koala Sampler. The pad itself features a full level button, which allows you to have the same velocity on every pad, which I like to do that so I don't have to tap very hard. It also has a 16 level button. This allows you to use the same sample on all the pads at different levels. That's useful if you're using something like GarageBand or like an Akai program or Ableton. You also have different banks here. So all four of those essentially give you a whole other set of pad banks. So basically, if these are all full, you can move to the next one, and then the next one, and the next one, and then you get a lot of banks that way. And the knobs and faders also have 3 different banks, so you can cycle between those with this button right here. The wireless is turned on and off with that button right there. You also have your full transport functions over here. That's to use in programs like Ableton Live and FL Studio. You can cycle through scenes with these buttons right here in Ableton Live. So yeah, it's just overall a really amazing little pad controller. I used to use the Akai ones back in the day, but I like this just as much, if not better, than the Akai ones, just because I think the pads feel really good, as well as I love the fact that it's wireless and it's pretty thin, but it doesn't feel cheap. It actually is a lot of fun to play. If you're into finger drumming and stuff like that, I highly recommend these. My only real criticism of the device is the step sequencer feature. I really don't find it to be very useful. It only has 16 steps and there's no way to really delete a sequence unless you turn off the device and turn it back on. So I really don't think it's very useful, and you also can't really change the resolution of the steps. There's no ratchet feature or anything like that. So it really, it's kind of like one of those things I feel like they put on there just to put on there, but it's really not that full featured. But everything else is really great. I mean, this is a MIDI controller, so you're going to be connecting it to a sequencer anyways. So having the step sequencer built in is, it's kind of a fun little gimmick, but it's not really necessary. You have a lot of different lighting options. What you saw there when I was playing is this one where it kind of cycles through every time you push a pad, and I just think that that's really cool. And you can customize all of these as well, and there's a lot of presets in there. So that, to me, also is just a really big selling point on these. I just think it's a really cool thing. And you have your little LED screen right here where you can cycle through the different presets. And also it gives you your settings panel right there. So if you press menu, you can go to the settings, you can change the lighting, you can go to the menu. And in the back, we also have 2 standard MIDI input and outputs. They look like 1/8" jacks, in which they are, but it does come with little adapters. I'll show those up on the screen that you can plug into there, so you can use standard MIDI DIN cables. And then it also has a USB MIDI connection right there as well. So plenty of ways to hook up. My favorite, obviously, is to do the wireless connection. And the way that that works is you actually have a battery panel back here. You can put in 2 AA batteries in the back, and then it will run for a long time on those 2 AA batteries because it's really not using much power. It has 4 knobs and 4 faders with 3 banks for each of those. And like I said before, you have 4 banks for the pads. So it definitely gives you a lot of stuff to play with, and it's a lot of bang for your buck and a lot in a small package. Anyway, I do think it's a great device, and I do highly recommend it. If you want to pick one up for yourself, there's a link down below. And once again, thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget to click like and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day.